Have you ever really stopped to think about how you move something that weighs half a ton, is incredibly fragile, and might be a priceless family heirloom? Well, today we're diving into exactly that, the art of moving a piano. And you're about to see that it's way less about brute force and so much more like a delicate dance of physics, skill, and pure strategy.
I mean, let's just picture it for a second. You've got this massive, beautiful instrument, sometimes weighing over 1,000 pounds. Inside it's packed with thousands of tiny, intricate parts. And to top it all off, it could be a priceless antique. So how on earth do you get that from point A to point B without a complete and utter disaster?
Well, the answer is, you treat it like a science. This is not a job for a few strong friends and a we'll figure it out attitude. No, this is a calculated procedure that demands some serious specialized knowledge, the right gear, and an almost surgical level of precision. Trust me, there is so much more going on here than meets the eye.
Okay, so let's break this down. What exactly makes moving a piano so uniquely challenging? I mean, why can't you just grab a few buddies and get it done over a weekend?
It really boils down to those three things you see right there: experience, skill, and strength. And here's the kicker. It's the combination of all three that's absolutely crucial. You could be the strongest person in the world, but if you don't have the experience to navigate a tight corner or the skill to handle a steep staircase, well, you are just asking for trouble.
And here's the full picture of the challenge. We're not just talking about the weight, which is obviously huge. It's also the awkward top-heavy shape. It's the thousands of delicate little parts inside, the hammers, the strings, the soundboard. Then we've got the huge risk of property damage, destroying floors, denting walls, scraping up stairwells. And on top of all that, you have the sentimental and financial value. The bottom line, the stakes are incredibly high.
And this is where the professionals come in. Let's take a look at how having that specialized expertise completely changes the game and basically neutralizes all those risks we just talked about.
This comparison pretty much says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the do-it-yourself approach. You're risking personal injury, serious damage to the piano, and your home, with absolutely zero backup when something goes wrong. But on the other side, you've got the pros. They bring experience, the right equipment, and a laser focus on protecting everything. And maybe the most important part, they have insurance. That's real peace of mind.
Now, you might think the skills to move a piano are super niche, but they don't exist in a vacuum. Actually, the companies that really master this art often handle a whole symphony of other complex moves. Let's see what else they've got in their toolkit.
You know, it makes perfect sense when you think about it. The same principles, that same level of care, planning, and specialized gear apply to other tough moves. We're talking heavy antiques, bulky hot tubs, or even full-service senior moving, which takes an extra layer of empathy and care. This is so much more than just lugging boxes around. It's about safely moving people's lives and their most prized possessions.
But what if you don't have a place for your piano right away? Maybe you're between houses or renovating. Well, that's another piece of the puzzle professionals handle. Specialized storage makes sure that the instrument is kept in a clean, safe, and stable environment. It's an absolutely essential service for anyone who needs to safeguard their instrument for a while.
All right, let's get even more specific, because saying you can move a piano is one thing, but the reality is there's an incredible variety out there, and believe me, each type requires a totally different approach.
Just look at this range. The difference between a little spinet piano and a 9-foot concert grand is absolutely staggering. They have completely different weights, different centers of balance, and different disassembly needs. A true professional has to know how to handle the entire spectrum, from the smallest uprights to the giants you see on a concert stage. That is a deep, deep bench of knowledge.
And the expertise doesn't just stop with traditional acoustic pianos. Oh no, it also extends to those amazing vintage keyboards like the Fender Rhodes, modern digital pianos, and of course massive, unbelievably complex organs. Each one has its own quirks and requires a unique, careful approach to be moved safely.
So, if you're ever in this situation, how do you know who to trust with such a precious item? Well, it really comes down to a few key things you can actually measure, things that show real experience and reliability. So what should you be looking for? It really comes down to these three pillars of trust. First, years of experience. How long have they been at this? Longevity in a field this tough is a huge sign of competence. Second, their service area. Do they operate across a wide region? That shows they have the logistical muscle for complex jobs. And finally, a proven track record. You want to see a long history of successful moves and happy customers. And when you put those metrics together, years in business, states served, customers per year, you get a really clear picture of a company's reputation. These aren't just numbers on a chart. They represent thousands upon thousands of successful moves and a deep well of knowledge that was earned the hard way.
So what it all comes down to is this. When you're moving something as valuable and complex as a piano, trust is everything. And that trust isn't just some gut feeling. It's something that is earned through years of experience, a deep commitment to protection, and a skill set that is proven time and time again.
Which really brings us to our final thought for today. In a world where we're encouraged to DIY literally everything, from fixing our plumbing to designing a website, this whole process is such a powerful reminder. It really makes you ask, what is the true, enduring value of a master's touch? Sometimes, the smartest, safest, and just plain best choice you can make is to step back and let an expert do their thing.